I want to know your opinion. And once again, congratulations and thank you for bringing those ladies into our wonderful world of professional wrestling. There are new tag team champions. First of all, yeah, I know you're proud. How do you feel about the pairing of Jade and Bianca? Why do you think they put Jade and Bianca together?
Because they wanted to. They like each other. They vibe together. And they realize that they're great on their own, but they're really good together because people can see that they actually enjoy being together. That, you know, and I saw a video of them walking into the arena together. And they were pulling their bags and they were talking. You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of me and Dwayne when we came in together. And we used to come in the building and we'd be laughing and joking and talking about songs that we heard in the car. And when the older wrestlers browbeat us, we had each other to lean on to build us up. They building each other up. They're the support system for each other. And now they're going to learn how to be a tag. And the advice that I'm going to give them, call Bully Ray. Call Devon. You should call Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy. You should call Christian and Edge. Y'all want to be a great tag team? It don't happen just on your own. And I love all the agents and coaches. But everybody have their speciality. And if you're going to be a tag, you need to talk to some people that were over as a tag. Now, you can be coach. Norman Smiley is one of my favorite coaches down at NXT. Jerry Lynn is one of my favorite coaches at AEW because of the style that they coach. Rip Rogers is still my favorite of all time. And he works with OVW and some of the indie companies. I'm going to take their advice because they know what they're talking about. But I want to be over. So I'm going to call somebody that was over to teach me how to do what they did. Man, how did you become and get in the main event at WrestleMania? Hey, that spot that y'all used to do, like, what do you do to lead into that? And what's the point in that match where I need to back off so the other person can look like they're in jeopardy? And then, like, it's why, when, and where.
Sure.
That's what I would do with them. And they did. I'm gonna tell you something. The women's matches had the two best, and for a lack of a wrestling term, I would say spots, but I would say the two most impressive moves in the whole entire pay-per-view were in the women's matches. Jade and her finish, and the way she went into her finish, and Tiffany Stratton with the double Alabama slammer. Guys, y'all better get y'all game up. These women are kicking y'all ass. The two best impressions were done by the women. I stand by it. And I'm not talking about Cody's finish or, like the elite guys. I'm talking about in the match, they did this. And I went, oh my gosh, that was nice. I'm still in that.
I got to tell you, Mark, I popped huge in the women's three-way. Tiffany Stratton goes up for the moonsault. Naomi rolls in. Naomi and Bayley hit a 3D on Tiffany, and I popped.
Yes, huge. They got me on that too.
They did a great. Tiffany Stratton. Listen, a lot of the women there, really. I mean,
she over with me.
We already know what Bianca is. We know what Jade, or we have high hopes for what Jade is going to pan out to be. Tiffany is
limitless.
There's so much between. I'm just going to take the two newest faces there that I see the highest hopes for. Jade Cargill, Tiffany Stratton. Yeah. They have superstar written all. There is no ceiling written all over them for different reasons. But my God, and at the end of the day, Charlotte is the barometer. I want to see Charlotte and Jade face to face. I mean, I really want to see Charlotte and Jade face to face. That's going to be a moment right there. And Mark, please, I see Mark Henry has his hands clasped together in the prayer position. He has his head down and his eyes closed the minute I said that, because we know Christmas. What that moment is going to be. Listen, Charlotte and Tiffany is going to be really, really good. But Charlotte and Jade face-to-face is going to be a special moment.
Hogan.
Correct.
It's going to be Rock Hogan. I'm going to tell you something, man. All the moments, I told you that when CM Punk came to AEW, bro, it was incredible. It was one of the loudest, if not the loudest pop. It was definitely the loudest pop I ever heard at AEW. And I'm expecting Charlotte to come back, and not just come back, but I expect Charlotte to come back. Hey, people have been talking a lot of shit about the future and this woman and that woman. Well, the real woman is back. And the line starts, what did she say? Behind me. This was a year ago she cut that promo. The line starts behind me. I tell my son and my daughter, I want y'all to wake up in the morning, look in the mirror, and have that confidence. I'm the best. Nobody better than me. If you better than me, I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna be working hard to get you. That's Charlotte. Charlotte knows she the best. She wake up and she the best. I can't wait for Jade to get under the learning tree. And Bianca. We saw Bianca with Charlotte. How awesome was that? And now Tiffany Stratton?
They're loaded. Man. They're loaded. But Mark, I want to get back to the original question. I want you to think from the Office's point of view. Why do you think that they put Bianca and Jade together? Why do you think somebody said it was a good idea to put these two women together?
One, Jay got to get acclimated. And Jay comes across as a heel. And when you're trying to make somebody a babyface, you got to put them with a babyface. So you got to have them learn how to be a babyface. Jay, there's a lot of shit Jay got to learn. And when she and being with Bianca, who already has been the main event of WrestleMania, she know the ropes. This is her introduction to WWE programming. You need somebody to lead you. And regardless of how much talent you had, The Rock had Ron Simmons.
Amen. Great comparison.
It don't matter how great you are. If you don't have, man, look at Ric Flair and Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels is a top 10 wrestler of all time. Ric Flair is still in front of him. And he would never, if you said, Shawn, you think you better than Ric Flair? He'd be like, hell no. Rick in the Mount Rushmore, he the top 4. That's what you need that. And Jade is blessed that she's able to get that.
As great as Rocky was coming up in the nation, when you got Ron Simmons right behind you, pulling you back or pushing you forward or telling you, do it, whispered in your ear, you cannot go wrong. It's a way to feature a talent, yet protect them at the same time. And that's why I think that they put these two women together. Because Jade has come, Jade looks the part just as much as anybody else has looked the part in forever. It's like seeing Brock Lesnar for the first time and you're just like, holy shit. You saw Jade Cargill. Wow. Yeah. You saw Jade Cargill for the first time, you're like, oh, wow. Just wow. Okay? Now you bring her in with all this pomp and circumstance and fanfare and this and that, but you still want to give her the best opportunity to succeed. And putting her out there on her own might be a little risky. So how do we protect our investment? We'll put her with Bianca for a little while. Let's let them run together. Let's let her get her legs underneath her, a comfort level. It's a smart way to go about things. A lot of times in wrestling, a talent will get put into a tag match scenario to hide the negatives and to accentuate and feature the positives, the strengths. There's nothing wrong with hiding the negatives because you want to hide the negatives until you can fix the negatives. Not negatives, weaknesses. You want to fix the weaknesses so you can hide the weaknesses within a tag. Paul Heyman was a master of hiding your weaknesses and exposing your strengths. And that's what I think what they're doing here in the tag. I think both of the, listen, two African-American women together, Rocky, I remember as a kid, Rocky Johnson and Tony Atlas winning the tag team championships together. What a moment. Jade and Bianca, not for nothing, but they look phenomenal standing next to each other. They're gorgeous women, incredible athletes, the whole 9 yards. So, it's all there, and it's a smart way to ease Jade in to becoming what Jade is one day going to become.
Bully, they put me in the nation for a reason, not because I was another black dude. Vince had Ernie Ladd come talk to me intentionally because Ernie was the standard for the black wrestler at that time. And he was like, Mark, I need you to go and sit down and talk to Ernie. Okay, no problem. How you doing, Mr. Ladd? He didn't say hi. He didn't say fuck off. He said, listen, don't fuck it up for everybody black after you.
Wow.
That's what he led with. And then he kind of talked to me.
Hey, what did Ernie Ladd call Shelton Benjamin? What do you call, like, he's called Black Dynamite or something like that. Do you remember that?
Yeah, Black Dynamite.
Black Dynamite. Tanga Loa, like I said, Haku brought them to me and Devon. He trusted us to train them. And Mark, we trusted Haku. We gave him the keys to our wrestling school because Haku wanted to come in on Sundays and work just with his sons on his own. And I saw so much in these guys so early on. I knew that something good was going to come for them one day. But as you know, Mark, sometimes that one day doesn't come for a long, long time. And I tell my students, it could happen overnight or it can happen in 10 years. You don't know. It's just how much you're willing to put in and how long you're willing to wait. I gave myself a 5-year window when I became a pro wrestler. I said, if this doesn't happen for me in 5 years, I'm out. I'm going to take over one of the family businesses. And at the beginning of year 5, I hit with ECW. Tama Tonga and Tanga Loa have been doing this for a long time in Japan. On and off in New Japan. And listen, being in New Japan is great. Top of the food chain is World Wrestling Entertainment. Yes or no, Mark?
Yep.
That's it. That's just what it is. And now I believe they are where they belong. I think they're going to make significant impact in the Bloodline story. I think they're going to make a significant impact one day in the tag division. And Mark, and I threw it out there yesterday on the old Twitter machine. One day, I'm hoping to see a dream tag team match. G.O.D., the Gorillas of Destiny, which I don't think they're being called in the WWE. Tama Tonga and Tanga Loa versus the Usos.
Oh, my God. Come on, man. Don't tease me. Don't do it. That Bully, they would have the main event. It would have to be the main event.
Now, there are
Bloodline.
some people on social media who are not familiar with Tama and Tanga yet. So I encourage you, go on YouTube and put in GOD, Gorillas of Destiny, whether that was against the Briscoes in Ring of Honor or any of the matches that they had in Japan. I'm a lot more familiar with their Ring of Honor stuff than I am with their Japan stuff. I've seen plenty of it, but I'm not familiar exactly with the guys that they wrestled over there.
And Japan is different too.
Yes.
You know, like just we talked about the fan bases and the way the crowd reactions would be extremely different. And also like when you go to watch Lucha, you watch Mexico, there's things that happen that you go, wait a minute, why is he in the ring? Why is he in there so long? Like there's just different rules. It's just different things. So yeah, you gotta watch them in Ring of Honor.
It was a great night for Team 3D Academy students. I was very happy and proud, and that's the last I'm going to talk about it. As a trainer, that's what you hope for. You hope to see your students, because pro wrestling is a minefield. And to withstand all those mines and get to the other side of that field and, get that big contract and be working with World Wrestling Entertainment, it's a big deal. So for Jessica and Tama and Tanga and any of my other students out there, I'm proud of you. I'm very, very, very proud of you. Mark, the match, the debut, talk to me. Tell me something. What did you think of the whole opening match?
Listen, man, I thought that the violence and aggression and the physicality set the tempo, for the whole pay-per-view. And Kevin Owens, listen, the dude is worth his weight in gold. He is not gonna shy away from anything, and he's going to suggest to you something that's going to make you go, all right, we doing that? Then that's what we doing. And I love that because there's no fear. And you saw that. I mean, Solo is starting to enter his comfort zone too. I don't know if y'all recognize it or not, but Solo's expressions are different. Can you tell?
Yes.
The light switch came on.
He sat at the learning tree of Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns for over a year. He's starting to get it.
He's starting to get it, y'all. And he's going to be really, really, really good. And you can see Paul Heyman, like whenever they have pictures, Paul Heyman is in the background and he's like, I don't know about this, or I'm not accepting of this. I'm going to call the tribal chief. Paul says so much without saying a word. And he has taught Solo how to do that. And that's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing Solo say things without saying anything. And now that he has the Gorillas of Destiny with him, they can be who he used to be, and he can assume a higher role.
Just like in the Mafia.
Yeah, he's knocking it out the park.
I love the way Heyman looks at Solo now with genuine fear.
Fear.
Like, as smart as Heyman was, as smart as Roman was, we did not expect this kid to come along so quickly.
Never saw it coming.
He was nothing but a henchman. He was nothing but a heavy, but now he's positioning himself to take over the family. And Roman is not around. And Heyman is fearing for his life. Bringing in the new characters, Tama and Tanga. Man,
without him knowing.
Yep.
Surprise. You see Paul's face?
Yep.
It's like, What is going on? What was happening? I didn't
Who
know
authorized,
this.
Who
Nobody
authorized
checked in.
this?
Boom. There you go.
Who
It's a leap
authorized
in
this?
power.
Yep.
No chain of command. He's a loose cannon. I can't control it.
Mark, back in the structure of the mafia, it was very structured. You did not take out a boss unless you had the approval of other bosses. Like, nobody went after a made guy unless you had other made guys saying, all right, you could take him out. And you didn't go rogue. You weren't allowed to do that until one day a couple of guys went rogue in the mafia, and the mafia became less structured as years went on. And a lot more guys did their own things. It wasn't that old school mentality, almost like that Gotti-esque era of the mafia, the Castellano-esque times of the mafia, when everything was structured and run a certain way. And if you were a soldier, you knew your place as a soldier. You did what you had to do as a soldier. And then maybe one day when they opened up the books, they moved you up. You didn't move yourself up.
You can't get to lieutenant by doing your own thing. You got to do what you told for a certain amount of time.
And that's what's going on in the bloodline right now. Paul's looking around like, nobody opened up the books on Solo. How the hell is he becoming a boss? How is he ordering all this new stuff? Who's he bringing in? I don't know about this. Roman don't know about this. The whole mafia that is the bloodline is in disarray right now. And I love it. So I have nothing but extremely high hopes for Tama Tonga and Tanga Loa. I'm enjoying this whole bloodline story, the characters, the development, everything.
Hey, Bully, did you see what I posted last week?
Remind me.
Who would win, the nation or the bloodline? And I said, I'm going to leave this right here.
Mark, I got to tell you, that I'm going to, right off the top of my head, I go with the nation. Because you have one person in that nation that people don't talk about enough, who is a legitimate bad motherfucker. And it's and you all are in your own way. And all due respect to Ron Simmons, and all due respect to The Rock, and all due respect to D'Lo, and all due respect to you, Mark Henry. But there's one other guy there that will rip your freaking head off of your shoulders.
Godfather.
Kama Mustafa.
Godfather. Whatever you want to call him. That dude was a bad man.
Preach, Mark.
Listen, 450-pound bench press, 300 pounds. And I watched him do a set of 15 with 315. And I was like, damn, that was respectful. And this is me talking. You expect the strongest man in the world to do that. You don't expect a wrestler to do that.
Raw strength. Just raw strength, right, Mark?
Raw. Yes. Him and Brock. I saw Brock do a set of 5 one time, Bully, with 500.
And for those people who don't know, Mark, do you subscribe to this old school saying, like, you don't own the weight unless you can do it 3 times? Is that true or not?
Yeah, that's pretty true.
Unless you can do 3 reps, you don't own the weight. 5 reps with 500, Mark? That's respectable.
That was man, like, I felt so comfortable with doing anything with Brock and Cena because they were so strong. I knew they could handle my weight. I never thought 1 second that I would end up on my head. Never. They wouldn't allow it. They were too strong to allow me to fall.
Mark, have you ever seen the look in the locker room, like Godfather, all Godfather ever did was laugh and have a good time. We had the best of times with him.
Yeah.
But did you ever see somebody say something to him where he would look up and he would just shoot that look? Like, did you really just say that? Or
it didn't happen in the locker room. It happened out, like places, and you would see him go, do you even know? And you know, when you have the confidence of a Godfather, and he would say stuff like, Taker used to call him Bear.
Bear.
Do you know what the fuck you talking about? And then you would go, everybody would like look at him like, and lean back like, oh shit. And he would make men, grown ass men, that thought they were men, thought they were big tough guys, look at him in his face and go, maybe I don't. Well, shut the fuck up. And you go, holy shit. Like, did that just happen?
And I totally forgot about the nickname. Yep, I totally forgot about the nickname Bear, which he was.
Like he's
when Godfather was Kama Mustafa, I believe they call him the Supreme Fighting Machine, Kama Mustafa. That point in his career, dude, you did not want to go near that man or make that man angry.
No, he was a big bad dude, man.
Yep.
And taught me a lot. Him and Ron and Rocky and D-Lo. Like I came in there, man, and it was like, hey, you put your gear on, or put your workout stuff on. Let's go to the ring. And it was like every week I learned something.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I ain't have no choice but to learn. And you look at The Rock, Ron Simmons, Godfather, myself, and D-Lo, and you put Roman Reigns and the Usos and Solo and now the Gorillas of Destiny, like it would be a war. Like you talk about fantasy warfare, it would be a war. But like when you watch fantasy warfare and you see somebody like the Godfather, or not the Godfather, Kama, the Supreme Fighting Machine versus Solo, you don't know what the fuck is going to happen. You don't know. You just know that it's going to be good.
When the boys,
and that's what it's all about.
When the boys were truly men.